An opening scene can make or break a movie well before the lights turn back on in the theater. His job is not just to set the mood for the rest of the film, but also to get the audience hooked from the get-go while also staying true to the narrative being told. Hello guys, welcome to Filmanter, and for today's list, we'll be taking a look at a few beginning sequences in movies that did all of the above and more in order to start the story on a definitive high. Before we begin, as always, please make sure to subscribe to Filmanter if you haven't already, and press the bell icon to never miss an update. With that out of the way, this is Amir, and here are 10 best opening scenes from the 21st century. Number 10. Detective Byomkesh Bakshy. This is how you set up a thrilling mystery. Based on the fictional Bengali detective by the same name, the movie begins in November 1942 in Calcutta, where a group of Chinese men from the Green Gang are smuggling opium from the docks. We're already told in a voiceover how this is all happening during the Second World War and how Calcutta had been on Japan's radar to attack British India for quite some time. And in the midst of this war between the two superpowers, those Indians living in Calcutta. The city is a red zone from all aspects, and it only gets exponentially intensified as an unknown group of men attacks the Chinese smugglers on the same night, even going as far as brutally blinding the Chinese leader. It's one of those hooks that gets you glued to your screen right away to see what happens next, which is honestly the best any mystery thriller could hope for. Number 9. Munnabhai MBBS. A fateful morning when an everyday guy is just trying to get his early walk done, a mysterious goon in the park loads his gun and starts chasing him. Tense music takes over as the chase begins, with the goon even firing a handful of shots as the man finds a taxi to somehow save his life. The pursuit gets so out of hand that the taxi driver parks somewhere abruptly and starts running away, only for the man to follow him to his house for safe haven. But what does the unsuspecting man find there? A giant ruse to trap him by his old business partner, and that too with the help of a local goon pretending to be that taxi driver along with his men. Munnabhai and Circuit have become a legendary duo over the years because of their unorthodox ways of kindness. And this was perfectly summed up in this opening scene, as Munna, realizing that he has been tricked by the wrong side in this deal, lets the kidnapped man go and turns his attention to the guy who planned all this. Number 8. Omkara. Choosing Saif Ali Khan for the role of Iago in Omkara was one of the most controversial decisions taken by director Vishal Bhardwaj, as we had scarcely ever seen the Nawab challenge himself for that one truly magical performance before this. So what does the director do to help us overcome our fears? He opens his much anticipated multi-starrer Shakespeare adaptation with a Saif Ali Khan sequence, something that could have literally soured the entire movie experience for the watchers right within the first few minutes. But what happened in reality is that Khan left us all spellbounded with his rendition of Iago as Lagda Tyagi. Gate-crashing his own friend's wedding processions, Tyagi abducts the bride Dolly for his leader Omkara, as his friend Raju the groom struggles to come to the realization of what just happened. That moment, we knew Khan had evolved from Squirtle directly to Blastoise, and it's in our list because had this evolution not happened in the start, the entire film would have suffered immensely. Number 7. Golmaal. The opening scene from Rohit Shetty's second directorial makes it to our list not just because of its comedy quotient, which by the way it's very high on, but because of how cleverly it establishes its 4 leads without going overboard with the introductions. The movie starts off with a college admission line where 2 suspiciously elderly students are bullied into donating for the Dean's Cancer Trust. The Dean's name? Harichandra Ramchandra Meerchandani, or Rami. It's later revealed though that all 4 had been working together all along, and the 2 elderly students were actually the enforcers of the plan, while the tough guy in the beginning is all but a scared little man-child doing whatever he was instructed. Oh, and the other tough guy was a mute in reality. The original Golmaal still stands as the best of them all today, and it's not saying a lot since it got us invested in all its characters right from the first scene. Number 6. Luck by Chance. Okay, we're gonna cheat a little here since we made a conscious effort to exclude opening sequences with song monologues for this list. But even we couldn't resist the urge to add this masterfully put together prelude to Zoya Akhtar's directorial debut in our list. Beginning with a typical casting chat between a successful producer and an aspiring actress, the movie soon jumps into this musical montage, highlighting the ins of the film industry from every perspective. It instantly gets us on speed with how much goes into film development and really brings Akhtar's love for the business of filmmaking to the forefront. Luck by Chance was a movie that showcased the real behind-the-scene happenings of the Bollywood industry rather than the shiny, glamorous side we've accustomed to expect, and managed to get us all on the same page through this perfectly apt song in the beginning. Number 5. Gangs of Wasseypur. The exhilarating montage that opens this 2012 crime thriller is perhaps the most real we've ever felt watching a movie up to that point. Anurag Kashyap's Gangs of Wasseypur opens quite warmly with the sight of the legendary Star Plus serial Kyunki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi starting on the TV as the Khan family sits together to enjoy the family entertainer, only for a bullet to destroy the TV screen first out of nowhere, and before you could process what just happened, there's a shower of gunfire that follows. A gang of heavily armored men surrounds the house, unleashing a wave of bullets and grenades on it with an intent to kill the entire family. What's behind all of this violence? We still have no clue. But the nail-biting spectacle still managed to keep us glued to our screens, anxiously waiting to see what comes off this. What makes the sequence even more interesting from a choice perspective is that it has no direct link to the entire film. It's only the second installment of the franchise where we see what exactly transpired on that night, lending the two-part series a balanced story structure as well as a gut-punching hook for ages. Number 4. Rockstar. It won't be too far-fetched to say that Rockstar single-handedly made Ranbir Kapoor a bona fide star in the dynamic Hindi film industry. And exactly how long did it take to do that? 4 odd minutes. In fact, the first 4 minutes of the film alone. Rockstar opens to an abstract sermon calling someone in a place beyond the world of right and wrong. The film then transitions to a large crowd gathering outside the Verona Arena in Italy, enjoying the festivities just before the performance by rockstar Jordan. Heavy drum takes over as we're then introduced to the notorious rockstar himself, surprisingly getting mobbed somewhere in the city with no protocol whatsoever, which he somehow manages to escape en route to his own concert. With bruises on his face and a disregard for his own popularity on the streets, the artist reaches his destination and storms through the sea of people directly towards the stage. With rage in his mannerisms, he takes a few seconds to get prepped up and off he begins, as we're then introduced to the life of this troubled musician in a song monologue. Simply put, there couldn't have been a better introduction to the self-destructive Jordan, as we still celebrate the character today around 10 years after the film's release. Number 3. Special 26. Neeraj Pandey's Special 26 was perhaps the most unpredictable feature of the entire year 2013, and the film makes a rather quick work in attaining that status. It opens to a CBI recruitment interview taking place somewhere in 1987, only to quickly jump into a flashback with the same CBI team executing a raid at a local minister's house with the help of local police. What follows is a ruthless search for assets beyond means in the house, as the team recovers quite a bit en route to seizing it all and transporting it all to the CBI headquarters. Or at least that's what everyone's told. Before long, it's revealed that the CBI team was actually a group of con men who not only fooled the minister into giving in, but also successfully tricked the local police to unknowingly facilitate their heist. The gripping sequence works at every level, giving the movie a sense of edge-of-your-seat urgency, as thus begins an engrossing tale of cat and mouse between the real CBI and these imposters. Number 2. Rang De Basanti. There's only one word to describe the introductory sequence from this 2006 Rakesh Omprakash Mehra social drama, and that is epic. The prelude just before the movie's credits sees Bhagat Singh and his revolutionary companions in the 1930s British India walk towards their sentencing with a haunting smile on their face and an unwavering confidence in their eyes. Sue McKinley, a British filmmaker in today's time, reads through her grandfather's diary as the British colonel in India describes his captors in the most flattering of words. The deep-seated vulnerability on his face describes exactly who these individuals are without saying a single word as he directs the final hanging of the revolutionaries. It's a goosebumps-inducing moment, not just because of the compassionate exchange of words between the jailer and his prisoner just before, but also because of how it transitions into an upbeat and lively credit scene quite immediately, thanks in large part to A.R. Rahman's background score, beautifully summing up how the film would play out between these two timelines moving forward. And number 1, Badlapur. When the film's title itself literally says "Don't miss the beginning," you know that it's gonna be a very special one. And well, it bloody well is. The first 10 minutes of Badlapur quite aggressively set the movie apart from other movies in the same genre, as it opens on a simple everyday street with a motionless camera in the distance, only to reveal in the same frame that there had been a robbery going on in the bank within the same frame all along. What follows is a hostile attempt at escaping, as the robbers use a mother and her son to run away from the crime scene, only for the tension within the car to reach such a huge boiling point that it eventually leads to both the innocent civilians getting killed. It's a scene taut with tension, unpredictability, and finally, loss. Something that sets the film on the highest gear right from the start and stays relevant throughout the film, as both Like and Raghu's lives get changed forever in their own ways thanks to this same incident. And there you have it, guys, 10 best opening scenes from the 21st century. Did we miss any of your favorites? Let us know in the comment section down below. Please give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it, and hey, while you're at it, please subscribe to Filmanter for more such content ahead. With that out of the way, I hope you have a safe week ahead. My name is Amir, and I will see you soon.